True Grit, 1969, remains a beloved classic in the Western genre, thanks to its captivating storyline and unforgettable performances. As we mark 55 years since its release, many fans wonder, what happened to the cast? From John Wayne's legendary portrayal of Rooster Cogburn to Glen Campbell's memorable role as Lawberf, the film featured a remarkable ensemble of actors. In this retrospective, we take a closer look at the lives and careers of the stars after True Grit, exploring how the film shaped their futures and where they are now in 2024. Join us on a journey through Hollywood history and discover the lasting legacy of this iconic film. John Wayne, born on May 26, 1907, in Winterset, Iowa, became one of the most iconic actors in Hollywood history, known for his portrayal of rugged, all-American heroes. In True Grit, 1969, at the age of 62, he brought to life the tough, one-eyed Marshal Rooster Cogburn, a role that earned him his first and only Academy Award. His childhood was shaped by financial instability, as his family moved frequently during his early years. Initially dreaming of a football career, he shifted to acting after a college injury ended his sports ambitions. Despite his professional success, Wayne's personal life was tumultuous. Married 3 times, he fathered 7 children but often found his relationships strained by his demanding career and infidelity. His third marriage to Pilar Pally was especially rocky, with frequent arguments and separations. Politically outspoken, he drew both admiration and criticism for his conservative views, which sometimes alienated colleagues. Wayne was also a heavy smoker, which led to his first battle with lung cancer in the 1960s. Although he survived that illness, stomach cancer eventually claimed his life on June 11, 1979, at the age of 72. Glen Campbell, born on April 22, 1936, in Billstown, Arkansas, played the cocky but well-meaning Texas Ranger Lawberf in True Grit at 33 years old. Growing up in a large, impoverished family of 12 children, he found solace in music, teaching himself guitar and eventually joining his uncle's band. His talent led him to session work in Los Angeles, where he became part of the renowned Wrecking Crew before launching a successful solo career with hits like Gentle on My Mind and By the Time I Get to Phoenix. Despite his success, Campbell's personal life was fraught with struggles. Married 4 times, he fathered 8 children but often prioritized his career over his family. His turbulent romance with country singer Tanya Tucker made headlines for its volatility. Campbell also battled substance abuse, which nearly derailed his career in the 1980s. In his later years, he bravely faced Alzheimer's disease, publicly documenting his struggle to raise awareness. He passed away on August 8, 2017, at the age of 81, remembered as both a musical legend and a man who faced immense personal hardships. Dennis Hopper, born May 17, 1936, brought vulnerability to the role of Moon in True Grit, 1969, when he was 33 years old. Known for his unpredictable energy, Hopper became a cultural icon with Easy Rider, 1969, but his life was a whirlwind of chaos. His childhood was scarred by an absent father and a strained relationship with his alcoholic mother. Hopper's marriages, 5 in total, were turbulent, most notably his 8-day union with Michelle Phillips. He fathered 4 children but maintained a fractious relationship with them due to his erratic behavior. Hopper's career, while illustrious, was marked by long periods of decline, exacerbated by his addiction to drugs and alcohol. His erratic temperament alienated many of his peers, leaving him isolated during crucial years. In his later years, he battled prostate cancer with remarkable stoicism but succumbed on May 29, 2010, at the age of 74, leaving a legacy as both a brilliant artist and a man consumed by his demons. Jeremy Slate, born on February 17, 1926, played the character Emmett Quincy in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 43. His portrayal of Quincy, a sly and unreliable member of the gang, was a small but memorable contribution to the film. Slate's life was marred by personal struggles despite his promising career, which included standout roles in The Sons of Katie Elder, 1965, and numerous TV appearances. His childhood was marked by economic hardship during the Great Depression, shaping his resilient yet restless spirit. Jeremy married twice, but both unions ended in divorce, leaving him estranged from his two children, David and Laurie. One of his greatest tragedies occurred when he lost contact with Laurie after a bitter custody battle. His professional life took a downturn in the 1970s, with roles becoming scarce. Slate faced a harrowing lawsuit in the 1980s that drained much of his savings, and later battled loneliness in his final years. He passed away on November 19, 2006, at the age of 80 due to complications from surgery, leaving behind a legacy of talent overshadowed by personal woes. Alfred Ryder, born on January 5, 1916, brought to life the character Gowdy in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 53. Gowdy, a meticulous and stern lawyer, appeared briefly in the legal proceedings of the film. Alfred's childhood was marked by poverty during the Great Depression, which instilled in him a fierce work ethic but left emotional scars. Though he achieved critical acclaim in Broadway productions and television series, Ryder's career suffered due to his suspected association with communist sympathizers during the McCarthy era. His marriage to actress Kim Stanley ended in divorce after years of reported turbulence, leaving him estranged from his only daughter, Laurie. Health issues plagued his later years, including chronic arthritis that hindered his ability to work. Alfred passed away on April 16, 1995, at the age of 79, due to heart failure, leaving behind a legacy overshadowed by personal struggles. Jeff Corey, born on August 10, 1914, was 55 when he played Tom Chaney, the cowardly antagonist of True Grit, 1969. Chaney, a murderer and outlaw, was one of Corey's most chilling roles, but his off-screen life carried its own drama. Jeff's early years were shaped by the untimely death of his father, forcing him to take on odd jobs to support his family. A gifted actor and director, Corey's career was derailed when he was blacklisted during the Hollywood Red Scare, leading to years of financial and emotional hardship. His marriage to Hope Glanville endured but was strained by his work-related exile and the challenges of raising their 3 children under constant surveillance. He later found solace in teaching acting, mentoring future stars like Jack Nicholson, but his health declined after a fall in 2002. Jeff Corey died on August 16, 2002, at the age of 88 due to complications from the injury, a tragic end for a resilient artist who had overcome so much. Stuart Martin, born on March 26, 1919, portrayed Colonel G. Stonehill in True Grit, 1969, at 50 years old. The shrewd horse trader was one of many colorful characters Struther brought to life during his career. Despite his comedic timing and memorable performances, Martin faced a lifetime of insecurities stemming from his small stature and frail health as a child. His career soared in the 1960s, yet personal happiness eluded him. He married Helen Meisels, but the couple remained childless, and their relationship was described as distant due to his heavy drinking. Struther faced professional setbacks, including being typecast in side roles, which he found creatively unfulfilling. In his later years, he struggled with depression and financial difficulties. He succumbed to a heart attack on August 1, 1980, at the age of 61, leaving fans to mourn the untimely loss of a character actor with unmatched charm. Ron Soble, born on March 28, 1928, portrayed Captain Boots Finch in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 41. Growing up in Chicago during the Great Depression, Ron experienced a tumultuous childhood. His father abandoned the family when Ron was a young boy, forcing his mother to work multiple jobs to support him and his siblings. This unstable upbringing left Ron with a chip on his shoulder and a fierce determination to succeed. He pursued acting after serving in the Korean War, but his early career was marked by years of rejection and menial jobs to make ends meet. Although he eventually found his niche as a character actor, Soble felt constrained by his frequent casting as tough, unyielding authority figures. His personal life was equally fraught. He married twice, but both unions ended in divorce, citing his struggles with alcoholism and an often explosive temper. Ron had one son from his first marriage, though their relationship remained strained. In his later years, financial difficulties and declining health overshadowed his modest Hollywood career. He passed away on May 2, 2002, at the age of 74, succumbing to lung and brain cancer. John Feedler, born on February 3, 1925, was 44 years old when he played Lawyer Daggett in True Grit. He grew up in the small town of Platteville, Wisconsin, where his high-pitched voice and slight stature made him a target for bullies. His voice, which he initially viewed as a liability, later became his defining feature in a long and varied acting career. Feedler's career spanned over 5 decades, with roles in Broadway productions, films, and television. He is perhaps best remembered as the voice of Piglet in Disney's Winnie the Pooh series, a role that highlighted his gentle demeanor. Despite his professional success, Feedler's personal life was solitary. He never married, often citing his introverted nature and focus on acting as reasons for his bachelorhood. Though he maintained close friendships with colleagues, his later years were marked by isolation and health struggles. Diagnosed with cancer, Feedler passed away on June 25, 2005, at the age of 80. John Doucette, born on January 21, 1921, played the role of the sheriff in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 48. Growing up in Brockton, Massachusetts, during the Great Depression, John faced financial hardship and left school early to help support his family. His rugged appearance and deep voice eventually led him to Hollywood, where he became a well-known character actor, frequently cast as authority figures or villains in westerns and war films. Despite his professional success, his personal life was marred by tragedy. His marriage to Dorothy Murphy, with whom he had 2 children, Michael and Sarah, was tumultuous and ended in divorce due to his struggles with alcoholism and infidelity. Estranged from his children for much of his life, he tried to reconcile with them in his later years but faced rejection. Professionally, Doucette's career declined in the 1980s as health issues limited his ability to work. He passed away on August 16, 1994, from cancer at the age of 73. James Westerfield, born on March 22, 1913, brought gravitas to the role of Judge Parker in True Grit at the age of 56. Raised in Springfield, Massachusetts, Westerfield's childhood was overshadowed by the death of his mother and the stern, often unyielding nature of his father, who discouraged any interest in the arts. Despite this, James pursued acting and eventually became a respected character actor, appearing in notable films such as On the Waterfront and The Magnificent Seven. However, his career, while steady, was plagued by typecasting as stern or gruff authority figures, which frustrated his desire to explore more varied roles. Westerfield's personal life was similarly troubled. His marriage ended in divorce after years of conflict, and he had no children. Friends often described him as a man of great talent but deep melancholy, battling depression and alcoholism throughout his life. He died of a heart attack on September 20, 1971, at the age of 58. Edith Atwater, born on April 22, 1911, appeared as Mrs. Floyd in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 58. She grew up in Chicago, Illinois, where her early life was shaped by the tragic death of her mother when Edith was just 10 years old. This forced her to become a caretaker for her younger siblings, a role she later said inspired her nurturing on-screen characters. After moving to New York, she trained in theater and gained fame on Broadway before transitioning to films and television. Known for her supporting roles in Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte and Strait Jacket, Edith often played matronly or aristocratic characters. Her personal life was less stable. Her marriage to actor Kent Smith was marked by his infidelity and emotional distance. They had no children, a regret Edith often mentioned in interviews, stating her career had taken precedence over her personal dreams. In her final years, Edith faced declining health and professional rejection as younger actresses took the roles she once commanded. She succumbed to cancer on March 14, 1986, at the age of 74. H. W. Jim, born on January 22, 1908, in Guangdong, China, portrayed Chen Li, the diligent and respectful grocery store owner, in True Grit when he was 61. Immigrating to the United States in the 1920s, Jim faced the harsh realities of racism and exclusion laws, which limited opportunities for Chinese immigrants. Initially working menial jobs, he found his way into acting, appearing in minor roles that rarely showcased his full potential. His most notable roles included appearances in The Good Earth, 1937, and Flower Drum Song, 1961, though his contributions often went unnoticed. Jim never married and lived a solitary life, deeply affected by the discrimination he faced throughout his career. His later years were spent in quiet reflection, his health declining due to years of hard work and stress. He passed away on March 15, 1973, at the age of 65, succumbing to natural causes, remembered as a symbol of resilience in an era of limited opportunity for Asian actors. Ken Renard, born November 19, 1905, played Yarnell, a dependable family servant, in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 63. Renard had a long and varied career, primarily in theater, where he earned critical acclaim. His childhood was shaped by the Great Depression, and he often spoke of his deep-seated fear of financial instability, which pushed him to work relentlessly throughout his life. However, Renard's career took a dark turn when he faced repeated typecasting, playing secondary roles in numerous films. His personal life was no less difficult, as he endured 2 failed marriages, both of which caused him emotional distress. Though he was married to his second wife for over 20 years, their union was fraught with tension and eventually ended in divorce. Renard had no children, and his later years were marked by isolation. He passed away on November 16, 1993, at the age of 87 due to undisclosed causes, leaving behind a legacy of work that few knew of beyond his minor roles. John Pickard, born on June 25, 1913, in Las Casas, Tennessee, brought warmth and dignity to the role of Frank Ross, Maddie's father, in True Grit at the age of 56. Growing up in rural Tennessee during the Great Depression, Pickard developed a strong work ethic that carried him through his early struggles. He began his acting career in the 1940s, earning recognition for his rugged looks and reliable performances in westerns such as Gunsmoke and The Virginian. Despite his professional success, his personal life was marked by sadness. Married to his high school sweetheart, Margaret, for over 30 years, their union was shadowed by the tragic loss of their only child, David, in a car accident. This loss profoundly affected Pickard, who turned to his work as a coping mechanism. As his health declined in the 1980s, he retired to a quiet life in Arizona, where he passed away on August 4, 1993, at the age of 80, leaving behind a legacy of understated but impactful performances. Elizabeth Harrower, born on May 28, 1918, was 51 years old when she portrayed Mrs. Ross, Maddie's caring and supportive mother, in True Grit, 1969. Harrower's life was defined by both triumph and struggle. Growing up in a financially unstable household, she was determined to pursue a career in acting, which she did successfully, appearing in several films and TV shows. However, her personal life was far from easy. Harrower had a troubled marriage with a fellow actor, which ended in divorce after several years of emotional turmoil. She had 2 children, both of whom became estranged from her as a result of her intense dedication to her career. Harrower's struggles with depression and her inability to balance her family life with her acting career caused her much heartache. Despite her success on screen, she felt lonely in her final years. Elizabeth passed away on December 10, 2003, at the age of 85, after battling cancer, leaving behind a legacy of talent overshadowed by personal hardships. Robert Duval, born January 5, 1931, was 38 years old when he embodied Ned Pepper, the ruthless outlaw in True Grit, 1969. His commanding performance was a precursor to his later successes in films such as The Godfather, 1972, and Apocalypse Now, 1979. Though Duval achieved extraordinary fame, his personal life was fraught with instability. He experienced 4 marriages, the first 3 ending in divorce, leaving him childless despite his yearning for a family. His volatile relationships were often attributed to his workaholic nature and bouts of depression. Duval's childhood was equally tumultuous. The son of a demanding Navy officer, he struggled with feelings of inadequacy that persisted into adulthood. Professional setbacks included a string of critical failures in the 1980s that nearly derailed his career. Today, at the age of 93, Duval remains a towering figure in Hollywood, though he leads a quieter life, reflecting on the emotional costs of his storied career. Kim Darby, born Deborah Zerby on July 8, 1947, in Los Angeles, California, captured hearts as the fiercely determined Maddie Ross in True Grit when she was 21. Raised by vaudeville performers, her early life was marked by emotional neglect and instability, leading her to seek solace and validation through acting. Despite the critical acclaim she received for her role in True Grit, Darby struggled to maintain her early success, often taking roles in lesser-known films and television series. Her personal life mirrored her professional instability. Married 4 times, including a brief and tumultuous union with actor James Stacey, she had 1 daughter, Heather. Darby's relationships were often marked by emotional disconnect and a search for stability that eluded her. The suicide of her ex-husband Stacey in 2016 was a devastating blow that added to the struggles she had endured throughout her life. Now 77, Darby lives a reclusive life away from the limelight, reflecting on a career and personal journey shaped by moments of brilliance and profound challenges. James McKinney, born on May 20, 1930, was 39 when he played Judge Parker's bailiff in True Grit, 1969. Raised in rural Louisiana during the Jim Crow era, McKinney experienced racial prejudice and hardship from a young age. These early struggles fueled his drive to succeed in Hollywood, though his path was never easy. After serving in the U.S. Army, James pursued acting and eventually found success in television and film, often playing authoritative or military roles. Despite his professional successes, McKinney faced significant personal struggles, including a difficult marriage that ended in divorce due to his wife's infidelity. He remarried later, but his second marriage was also strained, and they had no children. Throughout his life, McKinney battled a deep sense of loneliness and had ongoing issues with depression. However, he found some solace in his writing, authoring books, and becoming a vocal advocate for African American actors. At 94, McKinney continues to live quietly, reflecting on a career that brought recognition but little peace in his personal life. Carlos Rivas, born on February 16, 1925, in El Paso, Texas, played Dirty Bob, a member of Ned Pepper's gang, in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 44. His early life was marked by the challenges of being a Mexican American in a segregated society, which limited opportunities despite his evident talent. He broke into acting in the 1950s, with notable roles in films such as The King and I, 1956. However, his career was plagued by typecasting, often relegated to minor or stereotypical roles. His personal life was equally troubled. Married once, his union ended in divorce, and he had 2 children, Elena and Victor, with whom he shared a strained relationship due to his frequent absences and struggles with alcohol. Professionally, his career waned in the 1970s, and he spent his later years battling financial difficulties and ill health. He died on June 16, 2003, at the age of 78, from prostate cancer, leaving behind a legacy of perseverance amidst adversity. Wilford Brimley, born on September 27, 1934, had a minor, uncredited role in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 34. Though his character was not fully developed on screen, Wilford would later become a household name, primarily known for his roles in The Thing, 1982, and The Cocoon, 1985, series. Brimley's early years were defined by hardships, including dropping out of high school to support his family. His struggles continued as a young adult, experiencing multiple career failures and facing severe health issues. His personal life was no less tumultuous. He married Beverly Berry in 1956, and they had 3 children, but their relationship was often strained due to his battles with alcohol. In 1979, Wilford sought a fresh start and overcame his demons, finding peace in his second marriage to his longtime partner, and with them, he had 3 children. However, his health remained fragile, and he was diagnosed with diabetes in his 50s, a condition that later caused complications. Wilford passed away on August 1, 2020, at the age of 85, after struggling with complications from diabetes. Leon Alton, born on August 23, 1907, portrayed a boarding house guest in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 62. While his role in the film was brief, Alton's personal and professional life was far more complex. As a young man, Alton aspired to become a famous actor but was limited by the restrictive roles offered to him. His early years were spent in a volatile household, with his father abandoning the family when Alton was a teenager, leaving him to take on adult responsibilities too soon. Alton struggled with alcoholism in his youth, which plagued his career and relationships. His first marriage ended in tragedy, with his wife dying of a sudden illness shortly after the birth of their only child, a son who would later be estranged from him. Alton remarried but faced similar heartbreak, with his second wife suffering from chronic mental health issues. As an older man, Alton lived in relative obscurity, his career waning and his personal life marred by regret. He passed away peacefully on August 25, 1995, at the age of 88, succumbing to natural causes. Myron Healy, born on June 8, 1923, portrayed the deputy at prisoner unloading in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 46. Growing up in Los Angeles during the Great Depression, Myron faced poverty and instability, which fueled his desire to find a stable career. He initially found work in radio and later transitioned to acting, but his career was often overshadowed by the rise of other stars. Though he appeared in several films and television shows, Healy's roles were generally limited to minor parts, and he struggled to break out into more significant, leading roles. His personal life reflected his professional struggles. Myron married twice. His first marriage ended in divorce after a decade, with rumors of infidelity and financial strain contributing to the breakup. He remarried later in life, but the second marriage was marred by the same difficulties. Despite these challenges, Healy found solace in his work and remained dedicated to his craft. He passed away on December 21, 2005, at the age of 82, due to cancer. Chuck Hayward, born on January 20, 1920, was 49 when he portrayed a card player and raft man in True Grit, 1969. Like many character actors, Hayward's career involved a variety of uncredited roles, leaving little recognition for his work. Chuck's life was marked by deep personal hardship. Raised in a turbulent family environment, his father's early death shaped his worldview. The young Chuck often struggled to find stable work and was prone to bouts of depression throughout his life. Despite his presence in film, he could never quite find the success or the stability he sought. His relationships also mirrored this instability. His first marriage ended in divorce, leaving him with 2 children, both of whom became estranged as he continued to battle alcoholism. Chuck's life spiraled further after being diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease in the late 1980s, which deeply affected both his physical and mental health. He passed away on February 23, 1998, at the age of 78, from complications related to Hodgkin's disease. Stuart Randall, born on July 24, 1909, played McAllister in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 60. Growing up in the early 20th century, Randall's childhood was marked by hardship during the Great Depression. Despite this, he managed to pursue a career in acting, with his early years spent mostly in theater before transitioning to film and television. His career flourished with a wide variety of supporting roles, but Randall was never able to land a leading part. His personal life was equally difficult. He married once, but the marriage ended tragically when his wife died suddenly, leaving him heartbroken. Stuart had no children, and his later years were spent in solitude, reflecting on a life filled with success but also deep personal loss. As Randall grew older, he struggled with his health, and his once vibrant career was overshadowed by his declining state. He passed away on June 22, 1988, at the age of 78, under undisclosed circumstances. J. Silverheels, born on May 26, 1912, portrayed the condemned man at Hanging in True Grit, 1969, at the age of 57. A Mohawk Indian, Silverheels faced racial prejudice from a young age, which deeply impacted his sense of identity and purpose. His early years were filled with hardship, as he struggled to find his place in a society that marginalized his people. Silverheels eventually turned to acting, and he is best known for his portrayal of Tonto in the Lone Ranger television series. However, his career was often limited by the stereotypical roles offered to Native American actors, and he struggled to break free from the typecasting that followed him. Silverheels was married once and had children, but his family life was marred by challenges, including financial instability and a strained relationship with his children. In his later years, he faced health issues and battles with alcoholism, which took a toll on his personal life. J. Silverheels passed away on March 5, 1980, at the age of 67, due to a stroke. Who is your favorite character from True Grit? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.